saying?
Yo,
It just
that's
does.
very
You know,
different.
you know what I'm saying? So it's like all those things matter. Literally, where you stand matters in regards to the financial conversation that you should have.
No, that piece you just gave was art just now, and 2 points that I'd really want to highlight for the listeners: the education. Like, if there's two things that you got out of that, is that one, education matters, and you should probably use this quarantine time. I mean, not everyone is in a position where they're necessarily getting paid to work from home, but if you are being paid from work from home, this is a perfect time to take advantage of that situation. Two,
100%.
two, the fact that, just like you said, none of us know. We are in uncharted territory. No one knows how far this is going to go. So a lot of people hit me up. Should I buy stocks now because it's the bottom? Like, bro, I don't know what the bottom is right now. We are when this is some whole, nobody even has when they talk about black swan events and they plan for this, no one even planned for this type of black swan. Like,
Nope.
companies have planned for
Nope.
black swans, but not this type. Like, no one is playing for this. So we are in completely uncharted territory. So I want to ask you one more question, and I'm going to get into you. I
Yeah.
want to get into the projects you're working on, because I definitely know you have some big things on the way that you're working on, and we definitely got to make sure our listeners are aware of that. But the one
Yeah, no doubt.
question, we're going to switch gears. We're going to go into crypto for a second. Now,
Mm-hmm.
I got to tell you, Bitcoin broke my heart. And the reason why Bitcoin broke, now I'm telling you, the reason why Bitcoin broke my heart, and shouts out to, I believe it was Bitcoin Zay who kind of first brought it to my attention, like the first, like kind of one of the earlier days when it dropped. But Bitcoin really failed to show up. This was the moment where Bitcoin was supposed to show us why, this is a pandemic. Cash, paper dollars are going to be transmitting the disease. This is the perfect time for a digital currency to prove why it is a true store of wealth. And during this downturn, Bitcoin has recovered from its lows when it went down, but it isn't showing that store of wealth value, especially in a chaotic situation like what we're facing today. Theoretically, this type of situation should have really caused Bitcoin's price to surge. I was curious to know what your opinion is on that, just specifically in regards to crypto.
Um, I, I have to respectfully disagree with that. Bitcoin is a call option on the store of value, long dated call option on the store of value. Now, if you right, so I think if you look at it that way, and that's how I look at it, it's going to become that. Now, this environment where there's going to be whatever, $5 trillion printed, whatever,
For now,
all of this
as
money.
of right now,
Yeah.
we probably at five. The crown is probably, they just been injecting money, billion into the market every other day like it's nothing.
Yeah, exactly. So global, money printing, New Zealand just announced something they're doing. Like it is all over. So now this is the perfect environment, right? Like Novogratz actually just tweeted as well. Like he's saying, he also said something I disagree with at the end of his tweet, saying like this needs to be the year for Bitcoin. No, it doesn't. It's a long dated call out to the store of value, right? And safe haven, whatever you want to say, but definitely a store of value. So yes, if you look at how it's performed based on what the narratives are, the narratives for Bitcoin a lot because people they can't pigeonhole it, right? And teachers need a framework. So we have to kind of create these narratives to help us to understand something, right? James C. Rock, who probably knows more about Bitcoin than anyone in the world, so listen, the problem everyone is having is they're trying to define this. It cannot be defined. So hold on to whatever narrative is, digital gold, call options, technology, peer-to-peer, whatever. But the truth is, we're still very early and it's going to find its way. Now, if you look at the data, strong, hash rate as high as it's ever been. You look at, the reason it's come down is because large institutions have been selling. Retail actually has been buying. You look at its performance over the last year, it's still, I don't know what, it's up 40, 50%, something like that. Then there's the whole uncorrelated versus non-correlated debate. It's an uncorrelated asset. An uncorrelated asset does not mean that every time that the market goes down, Bitcoin will go up. That's non-correlated. Uncorrelated means that some days I'm going to go down with you. Some days I'm going to go up with you. Some days I'm going to be flat. That's what uncorrelated means. That's what Bitcoin has done. Now you're starting to see the decoupling arguments, the decoupling from the market. Not yet, right? If you look at the chart of the S&P and Bitcoin, right, over the last, let's just call it 3 months, it's tracking the S&P pretty much, word for word, bar for bar, right?
Yeah,
So,
no, I know.
Yeah, so now again, I think from a short-term standpoint, yeah, maybe they were a little disappointed, but for me, I'm like, go back to $3,000, please. Because I'm looking at it, 10, 15, 20 years from now. So I would disagree only in that sense that if you want to use store value, fine, but I would say, I would preface that by saying, again, long dated call option on the store value, which it will be. And this environment that we're seeing now, right, when this whole thing, this money gets released, this whole thing happens, and whenever we start to recover or whatever, we got the halving coming in May, it's set up for Bitcoin to do really well. And I'm doubling down, right? And if it does come, I'm hoping to come down a little more. So, I'm backing up the truck. But I've never been a bigger believer in Bitcoin than I have been at the moment.
Well, so do you? I mean, I know you don't speculate. Do you think we've seen the bottom of Bitcoin? Has it? Have we seen it already?
So no. Here's why I say that. If you look at Bitcoin, has never experienced a recession. We are about to go into, again, what we were just saying, it may be a depression. The last 10 years have been perfectly set up for Bitcoin because when it was created, and up till now, there's been tremendous money printing, the market is going straight up. It benefits from that environment. Never been in an environment like this where everything, listen, as we talk, oil is literally trying to shift the team. Like there's going to be massive liquidation. Hedge funds are going to have to sell anything. But the duality of that is, how do I sell Bitcoin and gold knowing that there's a benefit from the environment that I'm selling for, right? So, forced liquidation, though, margin calls will make you do it.
Facts.
So, I think it's going to be in an environment macroeconomically that it's just going to be tough to live up to all of that hype. And it may come down again, right? And again, I want to get very clear. I'm saying this partly because I wanted to, but I think, again, very smart analysts and people that I talk to in the space feel like it's going to suffer a bit in this environment, which means we may, again, it may be 4,000, 3,500, 4,000, who knows? But again, no one can say because Bitcoin has not been in this environment. But I will say, to your point, what you were saying is, all right, now you got to fight the bullet, right? Enough of the talking. If you're really what you say you are, and when everyone is saying you are, now you got to fight the bully. Here's the bully. So we'll see, over the next 1 to 5 year time frame how Bitcoin holds up. But I think this is the perfect environment for it. But I definitely think we go lower first. I think everything is due for a gut punch, my man.
Well, yeah. See, this is why I don't got patience, so this is why I trade options because I can't wait, man. But also, yeah, I'm not sure if because in the group, we got this thing called I'm sorry, this is not a Corona call from smoking, by the way, just letting the public know we safe. But we in put season right now. We call it put season. So we copping puts on everything. We just looking at fundamentally weak companies and targeting them on like downtrends and stuff like that. But it was so funny when we had those 2 days last week where the market bumped up. I think one day it went up like 1,000 points or something like that. And people in the group, were like, "Oh, put season's over." And I'm like, yeah, I don't know how this shit work, dog. We about to this shit about to be. It's about to be a lot of pain for a long time. When they unloaded like 3 bazookas. And they unloaded them like they were regular, and they didn't do anything to the market. I'm like, bro, they don't have anything left. There's literally nothing left. Well, this is, people, get this clear in your head. There is literally nothing else left the Fed can do. There is nothing left the government can do. Literally, we have to, however we, quote unquote, beat this disease is going to dictate our future. But there is no more, the financial, they used everything. They made new shit up to use. They used shit from '08. They used shit from before '08. They used every trick out the book. There's no more. The only thing they could do is continue to inflate the currency. But
Yep.
just to let people know who aren't aware. But before we let you go, because I know you can't stay too long, I want you to let the people know about these projects you got in the works coming up. I definitely think there's going to be some value that they could gain from them. So just talk a little bit more about the things you're working on. Also,
Yeah.
let them know about you got the podcast going. I'm not sure how y'all going to continue that. During this
Yeah. Yeah.
coronavirus, but give the people some
Yeah.
updates
Well,
on what you got cooking right now.
yeah, it's all right there. So, Joe, the thing about the podcast is we got a bunch in the chamber, so we're good until the summer.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah, so we're good up until the summer. So the Human Advisor podcast, hit the YouTube channel, the Actress YouTube channel, the Human Advisor podcast. Super excited for that. We have, the first Hispanic woman, the first Black woman coming up, Renee North. That episode is going to be crazy. So
Dope,
super
dope.
excited for that. So the podcast is rolling. And then the main thing I want to mention now, especially for your listeners, and I don't know when this is going to go out, but this Wednesday I'm doing a Zoom live episode of the podcast with Carl Richards and the good brothers Emlyn and Desarte. And we just, we're doing just a talk. I'm going to interview Carl Richards, but we're just going to give our input for the everyday person who feel like they don't have access to financial advisors, financial advice. Like we're just going to talk, what should people do now, and from an emotional standpoint, from an investment standpoint, all of that stuff. So if people can tune into that, I'll share the Zoom link with you. Be dope. Because I want everybody into that. Like I actually got a DM from a brother that's homeless. He's like, I saw this on LinkedIn. I'm recently homeless. I got $3,000 to my name in the car. Can I buy a home? Like, you're goddamn right. Yeah. Like, these are the type of people that you want. I fight for people at the bottom. That's what this is about for me. So, doing that, man, and then, some bigger things that are coming. My company 401 launches on 401, April 1st, launching that. So we'll be doing some financial literacy coaching with that. But the main thing with that is
Dope.
storytelling, helping company build brands, things like that. Got some really big things coming with an all crypto RIA that I'm helping to build right now with investment advisors. So we're working on that. Got some really big names already as clients. Excited to introduce that. And then I am the director of community for Altruist, the company that does the podcast. Do a lot of things for community, financial literacy, financial education, community building, and just being in the streets and doing things not only for, the normal philanthropic things in the community, but for me, it's very passionate. Black boys all over the country realize that they have folks like you and me out here fighting for them, and we're able to position them and make sure that they have the resources that they need to succeed. So that's it, man. It's a lot of stuff cooking, but that's the main stuff. Again, I'm at Twitter at TR401. Any of your folks that need to reach out, especially during these times, I'm taking, a lot of my time and giving it to people. If anybody listening, if you fall into hard times or you feel like you just need some financial advice from somebody, it's free. I'll give you, as much time as you need to help you in a situation if I can deliver it. And I'm definitely doing that off the strength of you because I believe in what you're doing. And it's one thing to give people financial advice, but I got to put something in you, right? I got to give you money and I got to give you a message, because if I give you both, right? If I give you money and a message, if I give an addicted mother to heroin a message, she got to walk out the house, she can make a left to go buy drugs, or she can make a right to go buy food for her hungry children. If I just give her money, she's going to go see the dope man. If I give her a message, she's going to walk out that house and say, I got to feed these kids. These kids got to be better than me. So, that's really what I'm all about, man, and that's what we're pushing forward. And now is the best time forward, because people are going to be hurting, man. So I'm just here to heal, live my purpose and my passion. I appreciate you having me, brother. Love everything that you're doing. Salute on the growth of the family and your growth and your prosperity. I'm proud of you. I'm happy to see it. And you have no idea that, again, with everything you're doing is legacy, bro. There are people whose lives you are changing, and I promise you that the lives you are changing, they haven't even touched you yet. You don't even know. So keep pushing, keep grinding. Whatever you need from me, you got it.
Yo, I appreciate that, bro. And definitely got to say the same for you, because you definitely doing on God's work out here, putting people on. And I want people to understand, like, this seminar that he's doing on Wednesday, these are, people charging, upwards of $1,000 plus an hour,
Oh yeah.
just for this type of guidance. People are paying for this type of guidance, and this is something that he gets paid for